Hello Niger football lovers, trust you all had a fantastic weekend and hope we all got along with the international break. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian and we are Niger footballers. Talking about the international break, there won't be the usual player roundup show on players' performance for their respective club sides. With club football on hold this past weekend, players have been called up to turn up. I like the rhymes, for their respective countries, including Nigerian footballers who have been invited to join up with the Super Eagles squad. But anyways, there's still something to talk about, isn't it? So guys, stick around. This is Niger Footballers TV and I will be with you again shortly. Welcome back guys. So let's talk about our national team football over the past 4 months, or generally since the summer began. Now when I say national team, I mean the Golden Eaglets, the Flying Eagles, the Super Falcons, the WAFU team, the Chan Eagles, the Under-23 male and female dream team, and of course the Super Eagles. Now it's been a turbulent and a very disappointing summer, in most aspects of our national team football, and I'm sure most of you watching will agree with me. But there were a handful of tournaments and qualifying spots up for grabs for our national team in every category, barring the Super Eagles, but they just couldn't live up to expectation. So guys, let's do a quick rundown of them all. Now we'll begin with the Under-20 World Cup. Now talking about the Under-20, we are record holding winners in Africa. Talking about the Under-20 African Cup of Nations, but we just couldn't extend that dominance to the world stage at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. We've been runners-up on the FIFA World Cup on 2 occasions, with the most recent one in Netherlands in 2005, and I'm sure most of you will remember that final against Argentina. Well, this year's tournament was held in Poland, and Paul Aibogun was given the honor to lead a 21-man squad to glory in Poland. But we squeezed past the group stage actually with just 4 points, with our only win against the whipping boys in that group. I'm talking about Qatar. Here when I say whipping boys, Qatar were the, Christmas is approaching, but they were the Father Christmas in that group, because every other team collected 3 points from Qatar. It was the end of the road for the Flying Eagles in the round of 16, as we couldn't go past our African brothers, Senegal, losing by 2-1. It was a poor outing in general for Paul Aibogun and the boys out there in Poland. There were allegations he wasn't picking players based on merit and collecting bribes for players, from some particular set of players, to feature in that tournament. So a sad one right there for the Flying Eagles at the Under-20 World Cup in Poland. Now up next is the FIFA Women's World Cup. The Super Falcons were at the World Cup in France. They were led by Swedish Thomas Denaby. The Super Falcons, another club category of our national team football, struggling to replicate its African dominance in the world stage. Now when I talk about African dominance, I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait for it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 African Women's Cup of Nations winners. That's total dominance when you talk about the African scene, but not replicating it in the world stage. We were knocked out by Germany in the round of 16 after coming through the group stages with just 1 win against Korea Republic. We were one of few teams to have qualified for every edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup since its inception in 1991. With our best run, our best performance was in 1999, where we went all the way through to the quarterfinals. So Thomas Denaby, who led the team in France, resigned recently from his position, due to disputes with the NFF, according to reports, despite having a year left on his contract. So sad ending for the Super Falcons and for Thomas Denaby as well, resigning from his position. Now to the African Cup of Nations in Egypt, or the AFCON for short. Gennett Rohr qualified and took the Super Eagles to a second major tournament with the team, which is arguably our only shining light since the summer began. Now the Super Eagles were knocked out in the semi-finals by Algeria. We eventually had something to smile about towards the end of the tournament, as we won the bronze medal, winning our 3rd place match against Tunisia. So that was the only shining light for Nigerian football this past summer, the 2019 African Cup of Nations. Now up next is the CHAN 2019 qualifiers. The African Nation Championship, or the CHAN for short. Imama Amapakabo led the home-based Eagles in the qualifying series ahead of next year's CHAN tournament, which will be held in Cameroon. Now after giving a bye to the second round in the qualifying draw, Togo were our opponents in the second round. The first leg was played in Lomé, and I can tell you for free, it was a disastrous outing for Imama and the home-based Eagles. We scored first in that game. They scored first in that game actually, but got capitulated, conceding 4 goals, which eventually secured a 4-1 win for the home side, Togo. So we couldn't match that scoreline in the return leg in Nigeria, as we could only win by 2-0. So eventually giving Togo the aggregate victory, which was 4-3, thereby them securing their place in Cameroon next year for the Chan Nations Championship. So just a reminder, we were the runners-up in the last edition of the African Nations Championship, losing to Morocco in the final. So it's a huge setback for the home-based Eagles and the coach Imama for not qualifying for next year's edition. Now up next, guys, is the WAFU 2019 tournament. The 2019 WAFU tournament was held in Senegal, and Nigeria got knocked out by Togo in the first round, losing by 2-1. And Sikiru Alimi, again, the Lobby Stars forward, was on the score sheet again. He looks like the only major bright spark from the Chan tournament and from the WAFU tournament, but it's a team sport, isn't it? So in the WAFU Cup of Nations, guys, there's a lower competition where the losers of the first round go on to play. It's called the plate tournament, the plate competition. So losing to Togo in the first round, we were offered a chance for redemption. You know, we got Cape Verde in the plate competition. An opportunity for redemption, like I said earlier, but Imama and the boys failed again. They played out 1-1 draw and eventually losing on spot kicks to the Cape Verdean side. So even the plate competition, yeah, plate, guys, plate, we couldn't go through, but it was a sad one for Imama and the boys as well. Now up next is the Under-17 World Cup, and I'm talking about the most successful team in international football for the Under-17 age group, the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria. Now heading into this year's Under-17 World Cup in Brazil, much was expected of the Golden Eaglets as the most successful side in the tournament's history, led by the experienced duo of Manu Gaba and Unduka Ugbade. Now when I say experienced duo, Manu Gaba has won the tournament before, and Unduka Ugbade has won it as well as a player. We made it past the group stages with 2 wins, maybe unconvincing, but we couldn't go past the Netherlands in the round of 16, losing by 3-1, with a lot of fans labeling the side as the worst set of Under-17 that Nigeria has ever had. You know, same allegations with the Under-20 side as well. You know, there were allegations that the team wasn't selected based on merit and the managers collecting bribe, you know, for players to be selected. Remember the Bichi guy, the son of the DSS. So, you know, it was a sad one as well for Manu Gaba and Unduka Ugbade out there in Brazil for the Under-17 World Cup. Finally, guys, and most recently, the Nigerian Olympic teams. I'm talking about the male and female team, or the dream team, like you want to call them. So preparations were underway for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, and there won't be any football appearance for the Nigerian male and female team, or the men and women team, if you want to call them that. So the male team failed to qualify past the group stages of the Under-23 African Cup of Nations in Egypt recently. You know, they were drawn against Ivory Coast, South Africa and Zambia. The Olympic Eagles couldn't, you know, they could only get 4 points with a win, a draw and a loss. You know, their only win coming up against Zambia. Imama Amakpakabo failing to qualify a Nigerian national team for a major tournament. You know, it was same story for the female team as well, for the women's team in the CAF Women's Olympic qualifying tournament. You know, after we got past Algeria in the second round, winning home and away with a 3-0 aggregate scoreline, the female Olympic Eagles were up against Ivory Coast in the third round. You know, they played a 0-0 draw, a 0-0 scoreline out there in Abidjan, but it was a 1-1 scoreline out here in Lagos at the Agege Stadium. So the Under-23 female Olympic team, or the dream team, you know, they lost out on that one due to the away goals rules. The team was coached by Christopher Danjuma, who replaced Thomas Denabi, who resigned from his post earlier on. So there you have it, guys, a host of disappointing, you know, outcome for our national team football over this past 4 months. So guys, which of them was disappointing for you? The most disappointing rather? You know, for me, it was the Under-17 World Cup. You know, due to the pedigree we were going into that tournament with, you know, being the most successful side, you know, in history, winning the tournament on previous editions. And Manu Gaba, the experienced coach, and Unduka Ugbade as well, who was his assistant. You know, and we going out in the round of 16, it was disappointing for me. We were expecting more from that team in the Under-17 World Cup. You know, there was a lot of allegations, like I mentioned earlier, players not selected based on merit. I think the NFF should just, you know, give the managers the go-ahead to select who the players they deem fit to represent the Golden Eaglets or to represent the national team at any major tournament. So we don't know if the coaches, the Manu Gaba as well, or, you know, Aibogun, their hands was forced to select a particular player. But like I said, you know, the selection process, we did our Instagram live video recently, and a lot of callers came in to share their thoughts basically about the selection process. You know, we have scouts who called in from outside the country to tell us how these players were being selected. That was first-hand knowledge from scouts out there outside the country. So under 17 World Cup, that was the most disappointing for me, talking about our national team football over the summer. So guys, I don't know if you have a contrary opinion. Was it the Chan Eagles? Was it the WAFU? Was it the under 23 male and female dream team? So which of them was the most disappointing for you? So guys, having said all this, so what is the problem of Nigerian football? Is it the coaches? I mean the local coaches. Is it the NFF? Or is it the players? Talking about the local coaches, we've seen Imama Amapakabo, given 3 opportunities to lead a Nigerian national team to a major tournament, but he couldn't live up to expectations. He couldn't make it past the qualifying stages of the various tournaments that he's been given a team to lead in. And we see Gennett Rohr doing so well, or maybe not so perfect for the Super Eagles at the moment. And a lot of fans are calling for his sack or for his dismissal, which in my opinion, I think he should continue as the manager of the Super Eagles. So guys, don't forget, you can always join the conversation wherever you see this video, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube as well. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Nigeria Footballers on YouTube for premium Nigerian football content. So there you have it, guys. That's the show this time around on Nigeria Footballers TV. I remain Emmanuel Sebastian, and don't forget, attitude might be a little thing, but it plays a major role to whatsoever you do in life. That will be the show for now. We'll see you guys next time. Remember, we are Nigeria Footballers.